Hey my friends, what's going on? It's your boy Keder on a beautiful day, my friends. So pound that for watching this video. On this video today, guys, we're gonna be talking about Contagious, why things catch on. Now, this is a book review. I'm gonna do a book review a lot on my channel because I read a lot of books. So I want to make a review for this book. It's one of the most powerful books that I read so far this year. So let's break it down. It's by John Berger. Okay, so in this book, it's talking about contagious. You know, how to become contagious, how to take your game to the next level, how do you get ideas to go viral, specifically if you're into marketing. You go hard, right? You go hard or you go home. Guys, I can tell you can change your life. You know, you trying to take your business to a whole next level. Marketing is going to be a really huge part of what you do in order for you to get your ideas or your products or whatever that you want to get to go viral. So inside of this book, it talks about, you know, how to create ideas and how to get them to go viral. It talks about the traditional market, you know, which the traditional market, it suggests that, you know, in order for things to go viral, for you to have a good campaign, for those of you that do e-commerce, I'm a marketer myself, so we talk about price and we talk about quality. So if you have good quality content and price, you can jack up the price and you can make a lot more money. But this book comes from a whole different perspective. It's a whole different perspective in this book. So I'm going to break down some of the most important key points inside of this book and why you should read it. If you want to get it for yourself at the end, I'll put a link down in the description to Amazon and you can actually buy it. But let's talk about some of the stuff that I learned inside of this book. Inside of this book, it talks about social currency and word of mouth. With social currency, it talks about, let's talk about the 6 keys. I learned about 6 key points inside of this book. He called it steps. You know, steps, the 6 key points, you know, to get your ideas to go viral. Contagious, you know, to become contagious and get your ideas to go viral. And it talks about the steps. It's an acronym for social. The S is for social currency. And when he talks about social currency, he's talking about we share things to look good. So if you, for example, people share things that makes them look good. Like the reason I'm sharing this book with you, I'm sharing on my YouTube channel, it's because I feel so great about what I do, right? I feel so great about build a business on the internet, have a lifestyle of freedom. I've been preaching that because it feels good, right? People share things that makes them look good. Or even if you go on Facebook, you'll find like little memes that go viral, little videos, funny videos that goes viral. So people go out there and they quickly share it because it gives them social currency. It's a measure. It's a way. It's a currency. It's a way of actually sharing things to make you feel good and makes you look good. And that's one of the things that inside of this book it talks about. If you can get your ideas and your marketing and whatever that you share, if you can actually share it in a way that is gonna share that social currency where people wouldn't mind actually share it, so it will make a big difference, right? And then the second point that I read inside of this book, it talks about trigger. You know, triggers. You know, triggers is to keep the idea on top of the mind. If you can take your product and always be able to keep it in the top of the mind of people, whenever they think about it, it's going to trigger whatever your product thinks. So one of the example that was shared is if you take, for example, like right now is the Super Bowl time. Super Bowl just went back yesterday. If you watched the Super Bowl, it was Eagle and the Patriots. I don't know if you watched the game, but if you did, during that time, right, they usually have this commercial time during the Super Bowl. Matter of fact, a lot of people watch the Super Bowl for the commercial. They don't even care about football, but they care about the commercial. So whenever you think about Super Bowl, that idea triggers the commercial. So it's in the same way that you can build something that create triggers that keeps it in the top of mind of other people. So when they can relate it, when you build a brand and they can like become so good at what you do. For example, there's this one saying that I say is that if you become so good at what you do, you cannot be ignored. Like if people think about a product, your name comes up. Like if you're really good at blogging, and whenever people think about, oh, I need to learn how to blog, guess what? Your name comes up. If they think about YouTube videos, and boom, your name comes up. You want your skills to come up with your craft. Your name comes up with your craft. So whenever you say a good dancer, you think about Michael Jackson, right? So your name comes up with your craft. Those are called triggers. If you can apply that inside of your product to the point where whenever someone thinks about this product, your brand comes up or your name comes up. So those are called triggers, you know, things that's going to trigger. And he talks about that. That's the second step. And the third step he talks about inside of this book is emotion. You know, when we care, we share. So if we care about something, we share it. Like when I learned how I could actually create a lifestyle from home, make money online, that makes me look cool, right? Social currency. And I say, hey, hell yeah, let's make a YouTube channel and share with other people. Like emotionally, I'm sharing because I care. I tell my parents, I tell my friends, hey, there's a different way. There's another way we can do things. You know, we could do things differently than our parents taught us. So it's really because we care, we share. That's emotion. So if you can build your campaign, talks about, you know, including that emotional side where people will actually share it because they care about it, right? Because they feel like, yo, by sharing, it makes me feel good. You know, it makes me feel a certain type of way. And then the P is for public. So it's built to show. One of the stories that was explained inside of this book was Steve Jobs when he actually opened Apple, right? Apple with the computer logo. It used to be, people used to have problem with it. It used to be upside down at first. So the way they used to do it was when people open the computer, it would be upside down. But when they close it, it would be a straight. It would be straight. So it would only appear to the owner in the way that it appears now. And then what they do, because they start thinking about the eyeballs. Like if you go to a coffee place, if you go to Starbucks, you have your computer. If you go anywhere in a park, you have your computer. When you open it, right, you don't see the logo anymore. Who does it matters to, right? It matters to the people on the outside who's seeing that logo. Like Apple have that brand recognition wherever they go. You see that flashy light logo and it's like bright in your face. The whole rest of the computer is this dark gray, this light gray, but you have this white logo right there in your face beaming with a white light everybody can see. See, built to show. And that's the same principle that he talks about inside of the book. So for the other people who seeing and how powerful, you make it public. So if you have something, you make it public, you built to show. And the other P is for practical value. You know, what use can it be? Whatever your product is, does it have a practical value? Whatever videos, whatever thing that you're trying to go viral, is it something that people can actually use? How useful can it be? And the last thing in this, in the 6 keys that he shares is the story. You know, to be able to sell your product inside of a story. You know, in there he talks about the Trojan horse, which I love that story. I've always heard this story in school. And when Greek was fighting, it was the Trojan War. You know, when it was in Greek. You know, when the Trojan, they were fighting in Greece. So what they did, they brought this horse that was made out of wood, and they bring it as a gift. So they act like they couldn't win the war. Everything, they could not penetrate inside of the city because they had big walls. So they had to come up with a strategic way in order for them to pierce and to get in. So what they did, so this army was fighting this other army, right? So they came to the empire. They had this whole wall. They couldn't get through. They've been fighting for years. They couldn't get through. So they came up with a strategic way. In order for them to breach through, they had to build what they built was a horse. They built a huge horse that made out of woods, right? And then what they did, they load up all their soldiers inside of the horse. So what they did, they left. So they left. Everybody took their boat, like the rest of the people. They took their boat. They left. So what happened to the Trojans when they came out? They saw this big horse, and they saw all the guys that were fighting. They all left. Their boats were leaving. So they were like, "Oh God, thank you, you know, this is a gift from the God for beating those guys, for been fighting for so many years and not quitting, not give up. Let's bring it into our city so that we can have a celebration. So they bring the horse, they pull it, they bring the horse into the city, right? So it was celebration time. Everybody was done fighting the war. They put down their guns, they put down, you know, their weapons, their sword, you know, it was back in the days. So they had this horse that's built out of woods, and then during the night, while everybody was drunk, celebrating, having fun, the soldiers came out of the horse, they penetrate inside, they start killing people, they open up the gate. Now they let all the people came back during the night. They came back from their boat, and now they came to the city, slashed and killed. And like the moral of the story is that to be able to tell your story to be able to sell your product through a story. And that was so powerful that I've learned that stuff inside of the book. You know, I'm not sharing everything. I'm just sharing one of the 6 key points. There's so much more inside of this book that you can find. But I think it was so amazing to learn how to sell your product through stories, how it can impact people, and how you can get through, pierce whatever you need to pierce through by sharing stories. I think it's a great book, guys. Check it out for yourself. Again, let me know if you like the reviews that I'm doing for the books. I plan to do at least 1 review a month. You know, just let you know from the books that I'm reading. I'm going to be reading a new book, so I'm moving from this one. I'll let you know about the books that I'm reading. Leave a comment down below. Let me know how you feel about it. Is this something that you read before? Is it something you're thinking about reading? Will you put it on your list? Anyway, guys, that was your boy Keder. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys on the next one. Pound that if you have any comments, any questions, anything, drop it down below. I'll see you guys on the next video. See you guys later. Pound that. Pow. So pound out for watching this video. Pow.